Bieber, Glasnow. The Cubs need to make a move for a pitcher at some point. Let's talk about it
You
next.
are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Best way to support the show is by listening every day on your preferred audio platform and by pressing like and subscribe on YouTube. I like on the YouTube app now, when you say the word like, the like button lights up. Pretty cool. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's midweek episode here on a Wednesday is presented by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/locked on to get started. MLB Network's John Morosi reported Tuesday that the Cubs are among the teams active in trade conversations for Shane Bieber and Tyler Glasnow. Bieber and Glasnow both have 1 year left on their deals with the Guardians and Rays, respectively. We'll get into those numbers in a minute. We have discussed Glasnow before as someone who misses bats and puts some diversity into the Cubs rotation based on what they currently have, while Bieber may not do that as much, but he still is an intriguing target right now for the North Siders. Sam, a lot of trade wins and Cubs activity continues. At some point, I will be thankful when there actually is a move to talk about. Initial impression on these two dudes, and it is encouraging to see the Cubs in active trade talks.
Yeah, very expected. A little bit surprised. I hadn't heard much on Bieber, but Glasnow,
Right.
There's been buzz all offseason. I think it's one of those things where it's hard to evaluate it until we figure out what they gave up. But I could say that they need somebody like this. They need another top of the rotation arm. It's not a secret. And, we've talked about on this show now, I would say multiple times, that outside of Yamamoto, and the Cubs really right now haven't been linked to any of these main free agent starters outside of, I'm not positive how to pronounce his name, the second guy coming from Japan, Imanaga.
Yep.
And so, in order to put out a competitive roster next year, you need at least one other very good pitcher. So the trade route makes sense. 1 year left on their deals each, so it shouldn't cost you the moon and the stars. Right. Let's just briefly break down each guy. We've done Glasnow before, but I'll do it again. His thing's simple. If he's on the field, it's going to be a great pickup. That trade will be graded on one thing and one thing only: his health. If he is healthy, he is dynamic. He misses bats. He is exactly what this rotation has been missing for quite a long time. Think about when Yu Darvish was at his peak for the Cubs. That is this pitcher. He strikes out a ton of guys. He is dominant. When he is right, he's as good as anybody, really. But he's never right. He's only pitched 120. 120 innings is the most he's ever pitched as a big leaguer. So I think I tweeted this. Maybe I said this on the show as well. I think if the Cubs do get him, they should explore a 6-man rotation in order to really keep him as healthy. Because you got to think they're going to give up. Maybe a Wisniewski or somebody.
Major league ready starters who the Rays want.
But they still got an Assad. They still got a Wicks. They still got a Horton when he's ready. They have enough guys. They're probably going to make another move where a 6-man rotation may be very possible. The way I would describe Bieber is, a little bit, I would say significantly more health reliant, although not great. It feels like Bieber's been around forever. I believe he's only 28 years old.
He is.
But I would say Bieber has a higher floor and Glasnow has a higher ceiling. I think that would be the evaluation process. I think if you get Bieber, you're probably looking at mid threes ERA, maybe a little higher. I think last year he was up towards 3.80. Something along those lines, but solid, consistent. And if he's healthy, you're getting a very solid starter right there with Justin Steele as a 1B type of guy. Whereas Glasnow, the injury risk is much higher, but if he's on his game, you could be talking about a guy that is getting, tons and tons of Cy Young votes at the end of the year. So, and the other cool part about it is, and I'll let you go, and I might just leave after this anyway. You could finish the show with the way, my day's been going. I might just not speak. So, the thing that that I like is both guys are in prove-it years, and we saw with Bellinger what that could lead to. You're going to get their best. Glasnow is going to come in the best physical shape he can because he knows in order to get a big whopping contract next offseason, he's got to be healthy this offseason.
The 1-year deal to me is ultra appealing. I mean, Cody Bellinger literally won the comeback player of the year on Tuesday. So that's another case entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But any 1-year deal, I think, is good. And you lay it out extremely well there that, okay, there's risk on Glasnow, but guess what? It's worth it, especially when I tell you the Cubs' current rotation in 2 minutes. And it's worth the risk, especially given the state of the farm. So the Rays want a major league ready start in return. Okay, well, I think of 3 guys immediately: Assad, Wicks, and Wisniewski. Possible additions to spice up that package would maybe be a Keegan Thompson, maybe a Caleb Killian, if you want to include some volume to that deal. The appeal for Bieber to me is his resume. He's had mostly good health. He missed most of the 23 season with elbow inflammation, but I think the 2 starts in that final 2 weeks of the season prove that he's more than okay. He's 2 years younger than Glasnow, up and down the Cy Young scoreboard in 19, 20, and 22, including winning it in 20. You talked about how he's less of a velo guy as Bieber, more heavy on the ground balls. But folks, the Cubs don't have a number 2. As it currently stands, their rotation is Steele, Hendricks, Tyone, Wicks, and Assad, with Smiley and Wisniewski 6-7. It's not good. You like those pitchers, but in terms of a group of 5 or a group of 7 or a group of 8, if you want to include Ben Brown as the prospect closest to taking a big league mound, there's so much to be desired. Well, how about this rotation then? Steele, Glasnow, Hendricks, Imanaga, Tyone. Do you see the differences?
Well, you're winning it. You're without even making another offensive move. That's probably winning a division.
It's drastic.
Yeah.
How important is the starting pitching? That important. Well, Kyle Hendricks isn't a number 2 player. Jameson Tyone isn't a number 3, and they're still unknown on Wicks and Assad. The jury's out. We can't strike the gavel on them yet. And Smiley and Wisniewski shouldn't even sniff the rotation. Those guys are bullpen arms on a Cubs contending team. The Rays could have them.
Yeah, and I will say I don't love negotiating with Tampa Bay because because their player development is number 1. They're number 1 in baseball. When you make a trade with Tampa Bay, you just have a feeling that the guy you're giving up is going to turn into a star. It is, and I've kind of, one of my targets this year I was hoping to buy, and it's a buy high on. You'd probably pay 200 cents on the dollar, but I just fell in love with him in fantasy baseball this year. Was Braves corner infielder, Rays corner infielder, first baseman Yandy Diaz, who won the batting title. If they want to throw him in that deal, I wouldn't mind. But
or Brandon Lowe.
But I will say this:
or is it Lowe?
I didn't realize Glasnow. He actually did make 21 starts last year. I mean, my target
last year was the 120 innings.
Yeah. And I know that. I thought he was hurt a little bit more than that. Because I think the 21 starts seems high for 120 innings, but that's because his first few starts, I think he only went like 3.
Right.
if we could get 25 starts out of him, it'd be a successful deal. So that's not that much of a difference than last year. And Matt, can I just read you one thing? I have the page up here. So last year, 10-7 with a 3.53, solid numbers. Here's where it changes everything. In 120 innings, he struck out 162 men.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And so, and I talked about this on Monday's show. A lot of people have come and said to me, "Hey, Sam, as it stands right now, we're behind last year's pace, right?" And I would argue we're about even, because when you take the fact that we haven't gotten we haven't replaced Stroman and Bellinger, but we've replaced the manager, I almost think those things are almost even.
Yeah.
But this guy is an upgrade from Stroman. So you have a better number two, and so is Bieber, by the way.
Yes,
so
he is.
You have a better number two than Stroman, so you could say, okay, we lost Stroman, but we're now we feel like we have an improved rotation heading into 2024. And like you said, maybe they aren't done yet. And then hopefully you sign an Ohtani, so you've replaced Bellinger. Now all of a sudden you're significantly now improved, and then that's where you can start getting ideas of becoming a really, really good team versus just being improved. But I think this has to happen. I do want to mention before we move on, Matthew, that the Reds being involved in this is not a small story.
They should be involved.
They absolutely should be involved. And my guess is that it's probably they're going to get one of each. But I just think that it's very interesting because in my opinion, heading into the next season, I know the Cardinals have been active. That's the main competition for the Cubs is the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be really interesting to just see, like, okay, how much do you give? And, the Rays come back and just say, well, Cincinnati just offered us so-and-so. And then, because that's a dream for the Rays and the Guardians to have two divisional teams bidding against each other. You're gonna maximize your return there. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I think it's a significant thing.
And you can make a case that one of these teams, the Cubs or the Reds, are using John Morosi. Not to get too in the weeds, but Shane Bieber's name has not popped up until Tuesday morning. Is that to build leverage?
It's a great journalism point. This entire time, it's felt like Glasnow for the Cubs. So maybe, and then the Reds haven't really been that connected to Glasnow. So you're right. Somebody is probably piping this into Morosi. Maybe it's a Rays guy. It's just saying, hey, John, they've inquired in this just to increase a bidding war. That's how this goes. It's business in sports isn't as like official as you think. I've learned that from our sources and talking to people. It's not like this big secret. It's not that much different than life. It's just much, much higher stakes.
Absolutely. And if the Cubs get one of these dudes, does that help their Ohtani pursuit? We talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, overs, unders, and more. The Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks are all in season right now, so get in on the fun at kickoff, tip-off, or puck drop. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. As serious as the Cubs are about Shohei Ohtani, Sam, I keep wondering if making a serious move soon would help Ohtani decide to sign with the Cubs. In my mind, if they get Glasnow, if they get Bieber, then that's a piece of information that they could use, 11th hour-ish to sign their big fish. And Ohtani, as basically has been confirmed this week, he's the big fish for not one, not two, but three teams: Cubs, Giants, and Dodgers. And I really think that
tired of the Giants.
It could only help. Hey, you could join a rotation in 25 with these names. you could join a roster that we've already added to. In I'm trying to theorize that trading for one of these guys, especially a top flight pitching name, I think that helps.
Yeah, first of all, I want to give FanDuel a shout out because I
Oh,
took their advice, and a lot of people took their advice. Saw a weird 3-point line. Bears should be underdogs more than that. Always go towards Vegas. Bears won outright, as we talked about on this show. Vegas knows. Hashtag.
was that
Uh,
Iowa, Nebraska, or Bears Vikings? 12,
right.
12 to 10. So
I'm gonna pivot a little bit, Matthew. I think it helps, but it's negligible. It's a very
okay.
small amount. I don't think. I think as we sit here right now, I think Otani knows where he's going.
Wow.
I just think it's just a matter of, you know, offers, deals, his agents. You want to go through the process. I think he knows where he wants to go. I think he's probably known where he wants to go for a while. And so,
Really?
yeah, I think so. I think so. I just don't know. He's not going to tell anybody about it, but the people close to him. I don't think I'm not even sure how familiar Otani is with these two guys. I don't think it's gonna really drive him. Like I just don't think he's gonna be sitting on the couch with his family and going, all right, Dodgers, Cubs. Cubs just traded for Glass now. I'm going to Chicago.
Well, when you put it like that, it seems silly.
Yeah, I
Right.
think if they traded for, like a Garrett Cole or somebody like that, or a high level guy, sure, maybe you'd be like, wow, they're really trying to convince me. But I just don't think. I think if he wants to come to the Cubs, he's coming regardless of this move. And I think if he wants to go somewhere else, he's going there regardless of this move. I think that would be my take. But I could be wrong. It would be the first.
So then, are you subscribing to
I'm not
manipulation?
subscribing. I'm not subscribing to anything. I'm done. Just subscribe to this show.
Well, because you're inferring manipulation by Major League Baseball then to wait for Monday to sign.
Well, no, wait. Finish your thought? What am I subscribing to? What?
Well, so are you? I guess in my mind, Otani already making up his mind is a reach, because then what am I supposed to say that Major League Baseball is having him wait till Monday to kick off
No,
the winter
you're
meetings?
misidentifying what I'm saying.
I do think their camp has clarity over finances and
You're
teams, though.
wrong, dude. I'm just saying in his head,
Well, I'm not wrong.
you're not wrong.
You're saying there's more to it.
No, I'm just saying I don't think he knows where he's going in terms of he's going to sign the deal yet. He has to go through the process. One team might come out and say, I'm going to offer you 650 M's. I'm just saying
Right.
I think he knows where he wants to go.
Oh, interesting.
Like what I'm saying is, like, you go in, you get
Gotcha.
the car you want to get, and then you say, hey, I'm getting this car, but you want to go to the other dealership and see
Yeah,
if you get a
yeah.
way better deal. So
Got it.
I'm just saying maybe let's say he knows he's going to the Dodgers, but he's waiting to see if the Cubs come out with something that's just totally out of the bloom that could convince him.
Right.
I just think as it stands right now, he has an idea of where he knows where he wants to go, and I don't think a move of this significance, which would
Okay.
be real significance for us and the show and the Cubs, but to him, I don't think it's enough to sway.
It'd be zero value to him then. Zero.
Yeah, maybe not zero, but I wouldn't. I just don't think it's a game changer. Like when the
Right.
Heat went out and got Chris Bosh, or
Hmm.
I don't think it's like that type of thing. But
Got it.
like I said, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong about that whole thing. I just think he's had so much time to sit on this. I don't think he went into this offseason going, wow, I'm literally 33% Cubs,
Yeah,
33%
yeah.
Dodgers, and 33% Giants. He has a lean of where he wants to go. Now it's just a matter of making sure he gets the best deal possible.
With that being said, I would be very surprised if it lasts beyond the winter meetings. I would. And I
And I
think
would be, and I'll
I
say
think he's
this,
going to kick it off on Monday.
and I'll say this publicly on the number one Cubs show in the world. I
We are.
would be very disappointed as him as a player if he went to San Francisco.
Yeah, you inferred that for Tuesday too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
No,
say,
but that's fair.
yeah, that's not good for the game.
It's not.
Hopefully, is our trivia more opening day stuff? Because I've been studying a tad, dude.
It's has that vibe.
Okay.
A little bit different. We're gonna spice up the trivia right after this.
Of course it is.
Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today covers the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Search Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. For trivia this episode, Sam,
I thought you were going to do third base because we haven't done that. So I did do a little studying the last couple of weeks just in case when it popped up again.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna name a year, and you're gonna name the 12. I'm trying to think of how to put this, but the 12 main players from that team. So what I'm gonna ask for is the starting 8, the top 3 starting pitchers in the rotation, and the closer. That adds up to 8. Are you up for that? Good, because that's all I have in front of me. So,
sure. Yeah.
2006 Cubs.
Okay. Michael Barrett.
Correct.
Derek Lee.
Correct.
Aramis.
Correct. So you have catcher first and third.
Zambrano.
Correct.
Was Todd Walker on that team?
Correct. Second base.
And then you already told me from opening day, Cedeno was the shortstop.
That's correct.
So
you have left, center, and right, 2 starters and a closer.
Juan Pierre.
Correct.
Wow, I'm really in a zone.
Just a 1-year Cub.
Yeah, no, I am aware of that.
He did well.
I use him a lot on the grid.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who am I missing? Left, right, and then a closer?
And 2 starting pitchers.
Okay. Starting pitchers.
So you got Zambrano.
Was Dempster the closer or a starter?
He was.
Okay, Dempster was the closer.
So now you got 2 starters, left field, right field.
Pryor was still a starter at that point, but I don't think he pitched very much.
Yeah, I'm looking for the second and third in innings here. Yeah.
Okay. Was Jock Jones an outfielder?
Yes.
And then how about Matt Merton?
Correct. So we're down to 2 starting pitchers. This is impressive.
I can't think of the starters, which is weird. So let me just get there. So Zambrano.
Yeah. Zambrano
Rich Hill.
He was 4th in innings.
Sean Marshall?
3rd in innings, correct.
Okay.
You have 1 name left in the whole segment.
Yeah, it wasn't Maddox. He was gone.
It was him.
Oh, it's Greg Maddux.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Wait, I thought they traded him in 06.
They did on July 31st for Cesar Izturis, but he still ended up 2nd in innings on the team.
That's why I didn't think that. I thought they traded him mid-year. I knew they traded him that year to the Dodgers.
So great job today. And as you take a sip of Kool-Aid.
If you want to give me one more, I'm really in a zone. So
I'd have to pull it up, man.
Well, if you I don't think I've ever been that locked in live on the show, and I don't.
All right, well, let's do that. Let me.
Let's I almost think it might be clippable, bro.
All right, well, here I'm gonna do.
I feel like I'm at the blackjack table and I'm hot.
So I'm gonna go on Baseball Reference here live. So same exercise then.
Yeah, I mean, don't go past 01.
2011. I got 2011 pulled up on my phone.
I know the 2011 team.
Really?
The back of the back of my hand, dude. I remember. First thing I could tell you is that Carlos Pena was the first baseman that year. Starlin Castro.
Correct.
Darwin Barney.
Correct.
Arame.
Correct.
Lee. No, wasn't Lee. I already said Pena. Soto.
Correct.
Marlon Byrd.
Correct. Revenge.
Yeah, no, that was embarrassing. Japanese right fielder Kosuke Fukudome.
Correct. You only have one more position player. Left field.
Fonzie.
Correct. All right, 3 starters and a closer, Sam. Who were the top
Marmol.
Actually, let's go top 4 in innings. So Marmol was the closer, correct? Let's go top 4 starters. I'm going to give you the innings totals.
Dempster.
202, 198, 145, 135. Dempster, correct.
Zambrano.
Correct. Who was second and fourth in innings that year?
Oh,
You
I
already
missed second.
got first and third.
Okay. Did we have no, this was the year before Theo, so there was no rentals that
Last year before Theo.
Yeah, there was no rentals that I'm missing. Randy Wells?
Correct. Oh, man.
Was he second or fourth?
He was fourth with 135.
Man.
Who had 198 innings on the nose?
Man, did
3.32 ERA.
Oh, good pitcher. Did Randy Wells stink? Oh, Samardzija. No, too early, right?
Right. He was a reliever that year.
Okay.
A good one, too.
Yeah. 2011, it's a shame to end this poorly.
I could do a hint or no?
Yeah, it's just he had a
we made it this far though.
He had such a phenomenal season.
Right.
I'm almost embarrassed. And it's a dumb one. It's like I absolutely should know it. Marshall Hill. Like I'm just right.
197 strikeouts.
Give me a hint. This is stupid.
Rays.
Oh, Matt Garza.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. Good
right,
work.
Nice
though.
job.
Yeah.
Really good job.
Forgot about Garza.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
for
that
checking
team.
out.
Wait, that 2011 team. Hang on a minute. Castro, Soriano, Aramis, Pena, Dempster, Garza, Zambrano. What did they lose? 95 games?
That wasn't a good ball team.
I mean, on paper, it's not horrible.
Right. That's why they play the games on the field, dude. Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes. We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way, whether that's trade talk, whether that's Ohtani, whether that's trivia, whether that's best and worst of the week. We got it all. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm. Shout out to the audio peeps on Apple, Spotify, Sirius XM, and more. It was a fun one. Today, we'll be back Thursday.
Hopefully
maybe talking about a new Cubs player.
Hopefully we make a trade the next 24, man.
He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.